Joining me now, California Democratic Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, a member of the January 6th Select Committee. It's good to have you back on the program. Congresswoman, do you think enough progress has been made in the last 5 years to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, certainly the Capitol is better protected than it was at the time, but Donald Trump's efforts on that day was to send a mob to disrupt the election, to potentially kill us, to seize power. And he is still misusing power now that he's back in the White House in many respects. So, yes, the threat to our democracy is substantial. He's trying to, I saw something that came across my phone while I was in the hearing room. He's trying to gaslight the American people again, say these were peaceful protesters, and you can see the videos that's absurd. He pardoned these guys, and many of them have gone off to commit new crimes in America, like Mr. Theodore Middendorf, who's now serving 19 years for sexually assaulting a 7-year-old. That's who the president is calling a hero.
In the last hour, Congresswoman, I spoke with former D.C. police officer Michael Fanone, and he talked about not seeing accountability, obviously the pardoning of the J6 convicts, but also that Donald Trump has never been held to account. But he thinks that the responsibility goes beyond Donald Trump. He said even if in November Democrats win a majority, he says, and I'm quoting him here, "I don't believe that Democrats and their leadership today have the backbone or the fortitude to hold this president accountable." Is he right?
Well, we have tried to hold him accountable. As you know, he was impeached by the House twice. But here's what I think we really need to find out. Impeachment is just an indictment. A conviction is what counts. And if we don't have the votes among Republicans in the Senate to convict, then he'll just treat this as an exoneration. So that doesn't help us. This is really in the hands of the Republican members of the House and Senate. We cannot have accountability if they won't look themselves in the mirror and be honest and step forward to protect our country. One of our fellow January 6th committee members was here today, Adam Kinzinger. He won a number of merit awards when he was in the Air Force, served honorably. And one of the things he was talking about was a lack of courage among some of his Republican colleagues. He pointed out that someone he knew had been killed serving our armed forces in Iraq. And he said, you know, we're going to send people to die to save the country, but we're going to be too chicken to stand up for the truth to save our own careers. That's what we're seeing on the Republican side of the aisle. And it's got to change, or else the country is going to be in continued sad shape. We have to have the rule of law, and we're not going to get it unless we're joined by Republicans in insisting on it.
One of our reporters is outside with some of the folks who were there on January 6th and some of them who were pardoned by the president. There's no regret in the voices or the conversations he had with any of them. And then this year, your Republican colleagues are expected to produce their own findings. They're reinvestigating the January 6th attacks. What do you think is going to come out of that, Congresswoman?
Well, so far they haven't had any hearings in this investigation because it's just an opportunity for the Democratic members of the committee to play the tapes over and over again. This was a mob. They were wearing MAGA hats, they were carrying Trump signs, and they attacked the Capitol. And there's no way to sugarcoat what happened. That's what happened. You can see it with your own eyes. And they did it to help Trump overturn the election and keep power. He summoned that mob to Washington, knowing they were armed. He sent them to the Capitol to attack us and to keep us from certifying the election. You know, if people want to be gaslit, you know, that's up to them. But they should not avert their eyes from the video evidence that is inescapable. That's what happened.